The third season of Squid Game has been a real treat for attentive viewers. Alongside its tense plot and dramatic twists, it is literally packed with Easter eggs, visual metaphors, and subtle cultural references. Some of them are understandable only to those who remember the events of previous seasons. Others appeal to global pop culture, philosophy, and even Latin. What's particularly impressive is how skillfully the creators hide important hints about future plot developments and scatter details that become apparent only upon a second viewing. It is precisely these kinds of details that we'll discuss today. Enjoy watching. In the last episodes of the season, during the children's party scene, there's a shot that features a special character, the cartoonist in the background. This is actually the show's director, Hwang Dong-hyuk. For a second, he even looks directly at the camera, true master-level disguise. In the scene where guard number 1 is going through documents, we catch a glimpse of one specific folder, the one on the far left. The label, translated from Korean, reads Blacklist of Players. We can assume this folder contains the names of those banned from participating in the games. It would be interesting to know what criteria get people on that list, but the series does not elaborate further. When the maze game begins, Namgyu takes one of Thanos' pills and shouts, "Let's destroy half of humanity." This is an obvious reference to the Marvel villain Thanos, who is famous for using the Infinity Stones to wipe out half the universe. The reference becomes especially interesting if you recall that in the Keys and Knives game, there are two teams, each with an equal number of players, tasked with eliminating the others. Viewers may interpret Thanos differently, but one cannot deny that he brought his unique energy to the games, and his nickname and Infinity Stone-colored manicure became delightful Easter eggs for Marvel fans. Perhaps Thanos died at the end of Season 2, but as it turns out, the comic book references didn't end with him. In the first episode of the third season, Namgyu tells Minsu that Sammy died the previous night. She thought she was Wonder Woman or something. It seems like a throwaway comment, but soon after, the characters mention Wonder Woman again. In the third episode, VIPs discuss the game and note that Chun-Hee might get a second wind, assuming she'll want to protect her newborn child. One of them suggests she might transform into some Marvel superhero like Wonder Woman. He's immediately corrected. Wonder Woman is a DC character. These mentions underscore just how deeply American comics have penetrated global consciousness. It's also interesting that the poor players can name these characters precisely, while the wealthy VIPs don't even know Wonder Woman isn't from Marvel. Superhero movies are a way to escape reality, whereas the rich elite are so detached from the world, they have no idea what's trending, it seems. They're far too preoccupied with money and death to bother with comic books. Chu finds a pink uniform in Captain Pak's house. The mask features a square, indicating the rank of the guard. This is particularly interesting because squares are the highest in the hierarchy, after the frontman and the man in black. It immediately becomes clear why Captain Pak was entrusted with the important task of keeping an eye on the police officers. Squares are the only ones who interact directly with upper management and enjoy the trust of the leaders. We all know that the shamaness Sone lies throughout, pretending she has supernatural powers. But there's a chance she isn't entirely crazy. In Season 2, during the third wheel game, she delivers a prophecy that later comes true. She tells Gi-hoon that his life will last longer than fate intended, and if he returns to the games, there will be a reason for it. In that scene, the shamaness looks at the pregnant girl, hinting that Gi-hoon is destined to protect her. In Season 3, this prophecy is fulfilled. Gi-hoon couldn't die earlier because he had to save the child. Another accurate prediction by the shamaness occurs during the hide-and-seek game. Sone gathers players who believe in supernatural powers and obey her commands. As a result, many are killed, and Sone almost manages to escape. But Imchonde betrays her at the last door, and the shamaness curses him as he leaves. The gods will punish you. They'll smash your chip, rip out your pillow, and then your grandchildren will grind you up until their grass is fed. And as it turns out, she's right. Shondae becomes one of the final contenders in the Heavenly Squid Game, where he falls from the top of a huge pillar. The shamaness's prophecy is at least partially fulfilled. In the second season of Squid Game, there's a touching duo on screen, mother and son, Jang Jemja and Pak Yeon-sik. Jemja is no longer young, but she has a secret weapon, a knife hairpin hidden in her hair. It's odd, of course, that security didn't search her thoroughly and let a weapon through, but perhaps part of the fun for the organizers and VIPs is letting some things slide. In Season 3, Jemja finally puts her knife to use twice within minutes of each other. During the hide-and-seek game, Jemja stays with Chun-Hee as she gives birth. After the birth, Jemja uses the knife to cut the umbilical cord. Then, as she and Chun-Hee try to escape, Yeon-sik blocks their way. At this point, Yeon-sik hasn't killed anyone, which puts him at risk of being killed himself. He threatens Chun-hee and the baby, but Jem just stabs her own son in the back. The same hairpin serves as an instrument both of new life and of death, a duality that reflects the game's essence, where hope and cruel death coexist side by side. Soon after, the elderly Jemja commits suicide, unable to bear that her son died because of her. This tragedy echoes the first season. There was a man who played marbles with his wife and won, after which the guards shot his wife. Her death affected her husband so deeply that he killed himself too. Jemja does the same thing. In episode 4, we see the VIPs, disguised as guards, personally killing players. This is a new role for them, and they thank the frontman for the opportunity to participate in the games directly. The idea most likely came from Old Man Ilnam, who in Season 1 voluntarily became a participant. At that time, Ilnam told the frontman that the best way to enjoy the games was to play in them himself. Obviously, the frontman took his advice to heart. In the second season, he participated personally, and in the third, he let the VIPs take part directly as well. Before the final game, we see the dormitory with the beds removed. Strange inscriptions become visible on the walls. They read, Hodi mihi cras tibi. This phrase translates from Latin as, today me, tomorrow you. The message reflects the fleetingness of life and carries significant meaning in the context of Squid Game. Life is fragile. Today, I'm out. Tomorrow, it's your turn. When the players enter the hall for the final game, you can spot a sign on the wall. If you translate it from Korean, it says, safety first. Such signs are usually found on construction sites in Korea, as a reminder for workers. But in a show where every game is deadly, it comes across as a mocking joke. In one scene at the beginning of the season, Gi-hun yells at the guards and demands they kill him immediately. All this time, the frontman is watching him through surveillance cameras, but something doesn't add up. If you remember the second season, during Gi-hun's rebellion, player 120 destroyed all the cameras in the dorm. According to the plot, the new scene takes place the same day, so there shouldn't be any cameras. There are two possibilities. Either the guards replaced the cameras at lightning speed, or there was an editing mistake by the showrunners. When Mr. Choi bursts into Park's house, he finds a photo of the captain with the recruiter and realizes they were friends. For a second, another photo flashes on screen, showing the captain with the frontman. So the captain also knew the head of the organization. If you think about it, it makes sense. Before he dies, the captain thanks the frontman and says he should have died a long time ago, but the frontman gave him a second chance. There must have been some interesting backstory that remains untold. During the hide-and-seek game, Gi-hun searches for Daeho to take revenge for his betrayal. In one shot, behind Gi-hun, a clock is visible showing 4:56. This is no coincidence. At that very moment, Gi-hun discovers bloodstains, and a few moments later he finds Daeho. The clock signals it's time to act. Soon after, Gi-hun strangles Daeho. Before the hide-and-seek game, Lee Min-ki, also known as MG Cohen, says something to Snam-gyu. In the background is a sign that reads, "Beware of people, fool." A very relevant warning, especially for MG Cohen. He conspires with Snam-gyu to start a massacre, and in a bloody frenzy, accidentally kills player 120. The wall warned Min-ki. He should have been more careful, but ambition blinded him. Before the semifinal, the players are given only boiled potatoes for dinner, nothing else. This is in stark contrast to the first dinner, which was hearty and nutritious. It's a classic trick from the game organizers. First, they feed the participants well to improve morale and awaken their desire to play. Then, the food abruptly decreases to make the players irritable and aggressive due to hunger. The same thing happened in the first season. Initially full meals, then just eggs and soda. Hunger forced player 101 to steal food from others and even kill another player. The organizers have plenty of these tricks up their sleeves. They provoke conflicts and make the game more interesting for the viewers. The dinner scene in episode 4 is filled with drama, masking another symbol. The room where the finalists eat is round in shape. This figure is important in the final game. To start the Heavenly Squid Game, you have to press a round button, and the final tower is circular from above. By the way, the table where the finalists dined in the first season was triangular, one of the 3 shapes frequently used in Squid Game promo materials and in the opening of every episode. The third shape is the square. Over all 3 seasons, these shapes have appeared on screen countless times.
In the finale, important people enjoy the spectacle. And one of them says that the idea to bring back player 456 was great. Upon hearing this, the frontman turns his head to the camera and looks directly at it. It's as if he's breaking the fourth wall, just like in the Deadpool movies. It creates the impression that the frontman is congratulating the creators of the show for bringing Ji-hoon back to life in the last season. The series ends with an epic scene. An American recruiter plays Dak-ji with a homeless person on the streets of Los Angeles. Attentive viewers immediately notice an inconsistency. Dak-ji is a Korean game, and it's unlikely that any American played it in their childhood. It would have made more sense for the recruiter to pick something typically American. But the director decided to show Dak-ji because this game has already become a symbol of the series. At first, he didn't plan to adapt Squid Game to other cultures, but now he had to show some flexibility to continue the franchise. Recovering from the shock caused by Cate Blanchett's appearance on screen, you can notice other details in the last scene. For instance, there's a lottery advertisement in the shop window where the new recruiter is playing Dak-ji with a homeless man. The ad refers us back to the first episode of the second season, in which the homeless were offered a choice between bread and lottery tickets. Well, this fits perfectly into the general message of Squid Game. Desperate people are ready to do anything for even a ghostly chance to hit the jackpot, even if their chances of success are 0. Before the release of the 3rd season, there was a theory online that Ji-hoon might become the new frontman. The season was released, the theory didn't pan out, but there is still a hint of it in the show. Before the finale, the frontman gives Ji-hoon a knife and suggests he kill all the other players. It's clear this is a test. If Ji-hoon agreed, he'd prove that anyone can be tempted no matter how good they are. The frontman offers the knife because he wants to recruit Ji-hoon. I'm sure of it because later, we are shown a flashback in which old man Il-nam offers the same knife to the frontman. In the flashback, the frontman agrees and joins the organization. In the present, he wants Ji-hoon to follow the same path, but Ji-hoon refuses.
According to one of the most intriguing theories, the so-called trolley problem was supposed to play a key role in the 3rd season. The trolley problem is an experiment in which a person is asked to make a decision in a hypothetical situation of this sort. A train rushes toward a fork and can go onto one of 2 tracks. On the tracks stand different people, for example, several strangers, and the father of the person operating the train. Whom should you save? This idea is indeed traced throughout the whole 3rd season. For example, the room for the jump rope game resembles a railroad crossing. The traffic light blinks green when the countdown begins, and the narrow bridge players have to cross is painted to look like rails. Talking to the frontman, Gi-hun faces a typical trolley problem. One solution is to kill the other participants, take Chun-hee's daughter, and leave the game with her. The second is to die together with the child, allowing the other players to unite. The formulation of the problem is completely understandable, and Gi-hun decides to spare the others, at least at the moment he talks to the frontman. Will there be a 4th season of Squid Game? The answer is clear: no. The director of the series made it clear that the 3rd season was the last, but at the same time, he stated that the franchise will have spin-offs. The conclusion is simple. Most likely in the near future, we will see a Squid Game set in the USA. This assumption is confirmed by the final scene in which an American recruiter plays Dak-ji with a homeless person. So rest assured, Squid Game will stay with us for a long time. Before the hide-and-seek game, Namgyu laughs at Min-soo and reminds him about his girlfriend's death. Namgyu says he killed Se-mi because she humiliated him, and that's strange because nothing like that was shown in the 2nd season. It turns out this refers to a deleted scene. In the 6-legged pentathlon, Namgyu was supposed to spin a top, but he couldn't get it to work for a long time, and Se-mi reacted emotionally about it. The scene was cut from the final version, but it would have explained what exactly made Namgyu hate Se-mi. In Old Memories of the Frontman, we see Old Man Il-nam offer him a deal. The frontman will be declared the winner if he kills all the other participants with a knife provided to them. Obviously, this task isn't to his taste. He's scared and even cries, but in the end, he agrees. We always thought the frontman won because he was the most ruthless and brutal, like Sang-woo, but apparently that's not the case. The frontman made it to the finale with a pure soul and broke only at the last moment. It pained him to kill his friends. He was like Gi-hun, but Il-nam managed to tempt him.
No, we definitely need a spin-off about the frontman and the games he participated in. Squid Game masterfully contrasts openly nightmarish and utterly innocent imagery. And there's meaning in that.
The participants play children's games, and if they lose, they face inevitable death. Nevertheless, the series is filmed in Korean, and some disturbing hints may escape viewers who do not know the language. For example, during the jump rope game, there is a song that foreshadows the participants' demise. One of the lines goes, little friend, turn around." When player 96 starts pushing others down, not allowing them to cross to the other side, player 349 realizes that moving forward is pointless and turns back, if only to stop jumping. Naturally, for her, this ends badly. There is also a line, touch the ground and now fly. The double meaning here is more than obvious. Once touched by the player, the beam knocks them off and they fall. There's also a line, touch with your toes. It could be a hint that you need to jump at the right moment. Many films and series have creepy children's songs, but this probably takes it to a new level. Like all the other rooms used in the deadly games, the maze for keys and knives very much resembles a children's playroom. The walls are covered with multicolored patterns, including neon handprints. Such elements by themselves do not seem unusual. In real playrooms and kindergartens, they are often used, for example, to measure a child's height. Sometimes they even form pictures of animals. But the handprints in the maze seem to have a hidden meaning. In the room before the last door, where the winning participants must insert the hard-earned keys into a lock to continue playing, the handprints turn into chaotic smears of red, as if left by people in a stampede. Given how many horrifying things happened in this room, the show's creators most likely aimed for this effect. In blending the childish and the gruesome, they truly have no equal. In the hide-and-seek game, half the players get keys to open doors searching for a way out, and the other half get knives to kill those trying to escape. The heads of the keys and the cross pieces of the knives are made in contrasting colors, pink and turquoise, and decorated with plastic wings, arrows, and rhinestones. These design decisions fit perfectly into Squid Game's overall visual style, where children's toys turn into tools of violence. But if you don't watch anime or read manga, you might not understand what the design of the keys and knives references.
They are magical girl wands. In genre anime and manga, for example in Sailor Moon or Cardcaptor Sakura, main heroines use rods, staffs, or magical wands as tools and sometimes weapons in fighting evil. These items not only have power, but look cool. Indeed, why not look stylish while saving the world? Such magical artifacts are often adorned with wings and gems, and it's clearly these that the keys and knives in the maze reference.
At the end of the first season, Gi-hoon receives his winnings without much ceremony. The organizers simply stuff a bank card into his mouth and throw him onto the street. Later, when Gi-hoon receives an invitation to meet Il-nam, it comes in a black envelope with a pink ribbon. In the third season, Chun-ho receives Chun-hee's child and a winning card, also in a black envelope with a pink ribbon. At first, it seems this is just a stylistic choice, matching the general color scheme of the games. Just remember the guards' uniforms. But the third season reveals its true meaning. Let's recall, the bodies of dead players are packed in black coffins, with pink ribbons. These bodies are sold on the black market, which, given the nature of the games, is not surprising. Thus, the show's creators create a contrast between death and wealth, and return again to the main themes of the show. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. And in order to achieve wealth and power, you have to give the game everything. Your body, your soul, and your very life. During the burning of the file in Gangno-il, 2 costumes are discovered in the back room: an owl mask and Il-nam's costume. According to Reddit users, this is a strong symbol of the new frontman's connection to Il-nam, implying that they may have been linked or inspired by his philosophy. In the third season, VIPs disguise themselves in golden animal masks, symbolizing the influences of the global elites. The creator of the series directly states that they reflect the image of characters like Elon Musk, active, provocative, overshadowing with their publicity and power. In the maze set for the hide-and-seek game, there's a room with rainbow drawings and white butterflies on the walls. The show's production designer confirmed that the white butterflies were chosen for a reason. According to Korean belief, if a white butterfly flies into a home in the spring, a family member will soon die. Thus, the show foreshadows a tragedy in the family couple of the players. Soon after, Gumja kills her own son, Young-sik, in this very room, fulfilling the butterfly's ominous prediction. In the final scene of the third season, the frontman, located in Los Angeles, notices in an alley a recruiter, cameo by Cate Blanchett, playing Doc G with a homeless man. This short scene contains several hidden details. First, there's a lottery ticket hanging in the shop window nearby. This is a reference to the second season and a symbol of desperate hope for a win. Second, on a street sign, you can see that the scene is set at Gallery Row, next to the famous Skid Row area in Los Angeles, a gathering place for the homeless. Fans consider this no coincidence. The creators hint at the existence of an American version of the game, where wealthy organizers recruit participants from among the most destitute. Among viewers, there immediately arose theories about an upcoming spin-off about Squid Game in the USA. That's all for now. If you like this video, don't forget to rate it, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell. Your activity is the best reward for me. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.